Welcome in back to the Personal Foul Podcast. I am your host, Colton Gesser. Alongside me is my co-host, Phil. Phil, how the hell are you? Phil, you deaf?
I am right off the bat here. Oh, you got to be. Can you hear me? Looks like I froze.
Hear you, Phil.
Oh, this
Jeez,
isn't a good way to start.
What a botch job by you.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Oh, Phil sucks. This guy is deplorable.
Yeah, I'm here.
Nah, you're not here. Fix your stuff, Phil. Oh, goodness, this guy blows. So, again, this is a Personal Foul Podcast. We'll see if Phil can get his act together because he's terrible. So we'll get Phil back in here. He's terrible. But I'm your host, Colton Gesser. Wait for Phil to log back in. He does, Uncle John. Phil always does freeze under pressure. So we'll get Phil back here in a second. Got a busy schedule on tap for us today. Taking a look around the NFL, the new schedule coming out for this week with clearly the game of the week, game of the season. Vikings, Packers, Sunday Night Football. See if we can get Phil back in here with his crappy service. Talks how great his service is. Yeah, he always freezes on here. So Phil sucks. See if he can get us back in here. Terrible stuff by him. Shocker. But had a busy week. Had a lot of stops. Busy last 2 weeks. Shout out to Alex and Jordan on their engagement. Uncle John's in here actually currently at his barn. So big congratulations to them on their engagement. I hope this was if this was a live podcast. Good one, Uncle John. Never will I do a live podcast with Phil because I might have to strangle him. But Christmas, hope everyone had a great and Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate that as well. We have New Year's Eve tomorrow. Can't believe we're already heading into the new year. So we'll definitely be excited to look forward to all that stuff. So while Phil is still joining back in with his awful connection, I'm going to take the honors of starting off this show and working myself into a little bit of the schedule from this week. We had quite a few games this week. There's Phil. See if this clown's back. Oh, he looks terrible.
I'm back.
Oh, your service is still terrible. Oh, you're terrible.
Oh, my God, it's atrocious. That's Comcast service for you. Thank you, Zach and Carl Mitchell, you worthless bums. Thanks for nothing. I should know because you're related to John Mayer. What a big surprise.
Well, Phil, you're back. How was your Christmas?
I had a very nice Christmas. How was yours?
It was good, Phil. I'm not complaining.
Was Santa good to you?
Santa was good to me. The big man was good to me, Phil.
What'd you get? What was your best present?
Probably a new pair of Timberlands.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go. Good job. Oh, I see Anvil's on already. Hey, screw you, Anvil.
So we'll take a look at the Christmas games to start off this week. Started off with the Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs on Wednesday with a loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, the no-show Steelers. That is correct. Steelers lose 29-10. Steelers coming back down to earth at the worst time of the season, but as a delusional Steeler fan as I am, I will call it as I should call it. This team sucks. I was wrong. I'm delusional. This team always teases us like, oh, wait, this team's different. No, it's the same team. It's the same sorry-ass Steelers. It's what they are. Under this coach, this is what team you'll get every season. You'll get a team that just makes 500 and then sucks in the big spots. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers for you in a nutshell. So Steelers will have a shot to bounce back this week going into the postseason with a slim chance of winning the AFC North as the Ravens now control their own destiny.
Does it matter?
What's up?
Does it matter if you win the division?
Oh, no.
Instead of a home game?
No, it does not matter.
Okay.
I know you're like looking to get me going there. I know you're like looking to get me going
Oh,
on
I
the
am going.
Steelers. It's
Yeah,
what they are. It's what
because
they
they're
are.
a bunch of frauds like you. Not only did they get destroyed by Baltimore the week before, they no-show at home against Kansas City. Kansas City is supposed to be god-awful. Oh, they can't score. They can't do this. They can't do that. And what do? They steamroll the Steelers. That was an embarrassing thing. Carolina put up a better display against the Chiefs than Pittsburgh did. It's embarrassing. They're a fraudulent team.
They sure are. Speaking of fraudulent teams, that'd be the AFC South Division champs, the Houston Texans, as they got urinated on, and I mean urinated on, by the Baltimore Ravens.
Yes, they did.
Thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it was a terrible game. There wasn't. Texas is terrible. I'm sorry, the Texans are terrible. They're not good. They never were good. That whole division stinks. Miami would probably have a 3-game lead if they were in that division, for God's sakes. And that's how bad how bad the Dolphins are. That's a one-and-done division. Nobody cares about Houston. They're going to get destroyed by either the LA Chargers, or who's the other team that may get in? Or Cincinnati probably won't get in. I don't know. They're going to lose. What are you waving at me for?
It'd be the Steelers.
Oh, the Steelers. The Steelers will play Houston? Wow, what a mid-playoff game that will be. That's 4:30 Saturday afternoon. That's where that game's going to be on Wild Card Weekend. Nobody wants to watch that game. Wow, that's atrocious.
Speaking of games no one wanted to watch, Thursday, nice final Amazon Thursday game this week. God, Seattle and the Bears, 6-3. What a dump.
It's absolutely atrocious. The NFL needs to do something with these Thursday night games. There's one good Thursday night game this year, and it was a couple of weeks ago. Week after week, you get the same garbage performance. I mean, the weather didn't help, and what is the NFL Network doing planning or Amazon planning a game in Chicago in mid-December? What the hell do they expect? Go somewhere where there's better weather and you get more of a decent game. Once the rain came down, that was it. It was 3 and out. What was it, like 26 punts in that game? It was like watching flies have intercourse. It was terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
That's a good line there, Phil. And speaking of terrible watching, the New England Patriots now control their own destiny to the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, as they got annihilated 40-7 as the Chargers clinched their playoff berth under Jim Harbaugh. Welcome to the big dance. Go blue. Chargers in. 47 win. Patriots suck. Good game. Had an overtime game Saturday afternoon, the 4:30 game. Bengals, Broncos, 30-24. Joe Burrow continues to light it up. They win 30-24, keep their hopes alive, keeps the hopes alive of the Miami Dolphins as well with this loss for the Denver Broncos.
Nobody cares about Miami. The Jets are going to beat Miami this week. I can just smell this one coming. Jets, as bad as they've played, will somehow get up for the Dolphins. The Dolphins in cold weather 2 weeks in a row. Oh, yeah. Would Huntley as quarterback? Yeah, no chance. Rodgers, it's his final game he's ever going to play because he's done after this. He's going to go off on some majestic, 4-touchdown game. Oh, look at me. I'm Aaron Rodgers against a terrible Miami team. Dolphins have no chance. I've said this months ago when they lost to Arizona back in Arizona, Seattle, and another team they should have won. I forget. But it's been so bad with the Dolphins. I can't stand talking about them anymore. They make me sick. I do want to see Cincinnati get in. What a great, great first-round game that would be. The Bengals at Buffalo. Buffalo does not want them anywhere near Rich Stadium during that Saturday night wild card game, probably because it's in Buffalo. But if the Broncos go in, Buffalo's going to win 40-10. We actually want to see, if you want a good game, we want to see the Bengals get in. And I hope the Bengals do get in.
Wow. Speaking of the Arizona Cardinals, they lose 13-9 in the boring Saturday night.
Because I wrote against my team? Because you're surprised I don't want to see my team get in?
Yeah, you're a fake fan. That's fine.
Did I lose internet again? Oh,
You're losing it because you suck.
go ahead. Carry on.
Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, they urinate on the Jets. Aaron Rodgers with under one fantasy
Next, I don't
point
want to
this
talk about the
week,
Dolphins anymore.
40-14. Had a lot of blowouts this week, by the way. Not a great week for the
Terrible
NFL.
games. Absolutely terrible games. NFL's got scheduled better during December. We need more division games. I mean, nobody wants to see Atlanta and Washington this time of the year in prime time. That's the best game of the week.
By the way, you had all like division games this week, so you sound silly with
No,
that.
I didn't.
Yeah, Rams, Cardinals division,
Nobody
Jets,
cares.
Bills division, Cowboys, Eagles division, Titans, Jaguars division, Steelers, Ravens division. What the hell are you
NFC
talking about? Did you
AFC
watch
South.
football this week? Green Bay, Minnesota. Did you watch
That was a
football
good
this
game.
week?
That was a
Half
good game.
the schedule was
I'll give you that
more
one.
than half the schedule was division games. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, they need to pick who do you think's going to pick the division better, like I did in the beginning of the year when I picked Minnesota and you laughed at me. Remember that?
Yeah, you got one right, correct. And you called
I
shit
got more
for
than one right.
the bottom of the division. Steelers are
I got more than one right. Hell,
yeah,
I picked
one
all
yeah,
division winners.
yeah.
That's how good I am because I'm the
Yeah,
genius.
that's how good you are. Yeah, you're so the genius. Eagles piss on the Cowboys 41-7. Kenny Pickett leads the way. Jacksonville wins 20-13.
By the way, Ray Trimble, you told me to bench Devontae Smith, and I would have had my fantasy title today. I'd be gloating about my fantasy title. Instead, I got to sweat through Gibbs and Williams, hopefully getting me some points tonight so I can get a fantasy championship because I am the football guru. When it comes to titles, nobody knows more about fantasy titles than me. Isn't that right, Tyler Granado? You stink. You blew it last night.
Yeah, you're terrible at fantasy. Anyway.
Oh, I'm a genius.
Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, 5 touchdowns. They win 48-14
right.
over Bryce Young and company. Adam Thielen finds the end zone twice, though, for the Panthers. But Baker Mayfield solidified himself and the Buccaneers in pole position for the NFC South with a dominating win over their division rival, the Carolina
Does he get MVP votes? You giving him any MVP votes? No?
No.
How come?
Really? Where are they finishing as far as the NFC goes? Yeah, they're fourth.
They're gonna win the division.
Yeah, they're gonna finish the 4th seed. No.
So what?
No.
But you'll give Goff some votes.
Goff, Lamar, Josh Allen, Saquon
Lamar,
Barkley, Derrick Henry.
Henry deserves it.
Yes, I thought.
Well, Henry got screwed a few years ago when Aaron Rodgers won that MVP. That was a disgrace.
Another team throwing away their draft picks. The Las Vegas Raiders win 25-10 over the New Orleans Saints. This has seemed to be the week of teams not knowing how to tank and lose, just like the New York Giants won 45-33 over the Indianapolis Colts.
Another joke.
What a
wrong
shit
with teams? You have a chance to get the number 1 pick. I know it's not a great draft, but if you get that number 1 pick, you trade down and you get some collateral for next year's draft, which is supposed to be loaded. I mean, yeah, Cam Newton, Sanders, yeah, they're going to be decent, but they're not going to be winning you any Super Bowls.
You should stop. You should stop talking sometimes. Cam Newton, you're a Miami fan. Cam Ward, awful job by you.
Cam Ward. I'm sorry, I'm a little off. The holidays got me. We didn't have a program last week.
Are you ever on, Phil? Are you ever on? Really?
I am on. I'm on 24/7.
I don't know about that. Dolphins win 20-3 in a very boring game. As the Cleveland Browns, Dorian Thompson-Robinson sucks. Probably should never play an NFL snap again.
Oh.
Dolphins win, keep their playoff hopes alive. Great game in the 425 window. Green Bay loses to the Vikings 27-25. What a day for Sam Darnold and company as they now have everything on the line in Week 18 for the NFC North title and the number 1 seed. What a game. Can't wait to watch it. Vikings take care of business against a very good Green Bay team. Are people sleeping on the Minnesota Vikings?
Detroit team. They're going to play Detroit next week.
Yeah, I know. I was talking about how they beat Green Bay this week.
Oh, well, my apologies.
Are people sleeping on the Minnesota Vikings?
Well, I wasn't all year. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people still are because they're like, oh, Sam Darnold, he was an ex-Jet. He stinks. So I get it. But nobody should be sleeping on the Vikings. The only thing I worry about with the Vikings is you have that clown, Brian Flores, as your defensive coordinator. And Detroit carved them up last time. Granted, there's probably not going to be Montgomery next week, but they should still do what they need to do. Where's the game next week? Is it in Minnesota?
The game is, I think it's in Detroit.
Oh, it's in Detroit. Oh, boy, that hurts.
It is in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit will probably crush them then. But it's a huge game. You're going from a 1 seed to a 5 seed. It means you're going to be on the road for 3 games as opposed to getting a bye and being home for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, the implications are huge. The playoffs start next Sunday night. That's right, Ian. Yes, fly, Eagles, fly. Colton don't want to talk about fly, Eagles, fly. But yes, a big F you to Joe Sliso.
Colton talked plenty about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Two Gloves. And around
who's your MVP? I'm curious to know.
Josh Allen.
Okay. Fair enough. I can't argue that because I said he is too. Because he's got a bunch of bums at wide receiver, and he's still putting up these numbers.
Bingo. Final game of the week. There was another dandy. Sweated out my fantasy championship. Michael Penix throws his first touchdown pass of his career. They lose, though. Zach Ertz delivers the goods, and Terry McLaurin drops the ball in many fantasy championships this week. And thank you very much, Scary Terry. Oh,
yes, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Terry. 1 point or 1.7, whatever the hell you got. You bum. You stink. Thank you. Thank you for nothing. I needed it.
Chef's kiss. Love it. Big shout out to AJ Terrell for locking his ass up all night. Big Clemson fan. Shout out AJ Terrell for locking his ass up. But they win.
Well done, AJ.
Jaden Daniels delivers again. Commanders in the postseason. What happens when you get a quarterback, folks? It's what happens when you get a very good quarterback. It changes your franchise.
Right. And you don't try to sign them to these ridiculous long-term contracts because that's what's going to kill the Jacksonvilles, the Miamis, the who else got a big contract? The Clevelands. These guys are done for like the next 5 years because you're stuck with these bum quarterbacks. It's a shame. I don't understand the pressure to sign these guys. It makes absolutely no sense to me. None whatsoever. These franchises are done. I don't care who the hell Miami drafts for the next few years. They do not have a killer quarterback. Deshaun Watson is just going to sit there and collect salary. I mean, the GM already said they're going to draft a quarterback. I mean, what a mess Cleveland is. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, the NFL's in a weird spot.
It is. They got to do something with these salaries because it's going to kill a lot of franchises, and you're going to get a lot of dead December games like you had yesterday with Miami and Cleveland. By the way, how the hell are there only 2 games yesterday at 4 o'clock when there's no bye weeks? That's absolutely atrocious.
Because you had 2 Christmas games. You had a Thursday night game. Then you had 3 games Saturday. That's why. There should have been 3 games Saturday. There should have been 2 games on Saturday.
Third game on at 4. There's no reason not to.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's terrible. Because that was a snooze fest in the first half for that Minnesota Green Bay game. It took till the fourth quarter for Love to wake up and they started playing. I mean, 4 o'clock was just absolutely shot. And that's usually when you're supposed to get your great games. Terrible job by the NFL. Goodell needs to be better, just like Joe Sliso. He needs to be better.
It's time, Phil. It's time. Oh, no hat for you.
It's time.
No hat for you.
It's downstairs. You're going to go run and get it.
Nope, that's fine. You look like a clown anyway.
That's horrible.
You look like a clown. Your picks suck. So we'll get you to the updated standings.
Give us the standings here. Since I got screwed out of 3 wins last week.
I bet you did. Mike Bauer, 13-14. He now goes under 500. Ray Trimble, we are neck and neck for the lead. 26-19 for Ray Trimble. The lovely beat the genius man himself. 21-23-1. Shit show, Phil Sitta. And I also will get a push this week as well. I am 26-18-1. And the old lovely Karen Warren rounds out the standings 21-18-1. 14-1 for Karen Warren. Bill, your picks this week.
I don't like how I don't have my helmet on. All right, so I really didn't have time to do this because I usually do this on Mondays right around now. But because I'm such a professional, I will give you my picks. My first one is going to be Cincinnati over the Steelers. What's the line?
1.5.
1.5? Who?
For the
Cincinnati?
Bengals. Yes.
Bengals are favored?
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to take the Bengals because I don't know why they would play Russell Wilson. Well, actually, no, wait. You know what? I take that back because Baltimore could still win the division. But they play beforehand. So you know what? Cross that game off. Ravens Browns. What's the line on that game?
18.
Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore. I know it's a division game, which I don't like spending that high, but they need to win. They're going to probably blow them out in the first half and rest everyone in the second half. So give me Baltimore because the Browns absolutely stink. They were awful at home against Miami. I can only imagine what a good team's going to do to them. Oh, my Lord. Next game. See, a lot of these games don't have much meaning next week, and that sucks. I am going to pick the big game in the end because that's the kind of man I am. For my second game, Jesus. I'm going to take. Man, none of these games mean anything next week.
I said these games all suck.
This is awful for a week 18. It really is. How anticlimactic. Boy, the playoffs better be good. I will go, for shits and giggles. What's the line on the Bears-Packers game?
8.5 Packers.
8.5 Packers. All right, I'll take them because the Bears stink. And lastly, I've ridden high with Detroit all year long. I am going to take Detroit over Minnesota because the game is at home. I will assume the spread is 3.5.
2.5 Detroit.
2.5. Oh, I get that hook. Take the hook, baby. 2.5 Detroit.
Yeah, this week's tough.
It's brutal this week. I didn't have time to really analyze these picks, but that's why I'm the genius and you're not.
I'm going to take God, do I take the Giants +3? Oh, gosh.
And the Eagles shouldn't be playing anybody. Saquon should not see the field this weekend. I do not want to see Saquon on the field. There's absolutely zero sense to play him. I don't want to hear how he's got to get a rushing record. Dickerson did it in 16 games. Barkley would do it in 17. There's an asterisk. I don't want to see him on the field. Don't play him. The playoffs are much more important than beating up on the Giants. You know the Giants are going to try like hell to take him out. Keep him on the bench.
This schedule sucks.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. By the way, while you're looking, New York Jets, what in the holy hell are you doing looking at Ron Rivera and Ryan for candidacy for your head coaching job? All you Jet fans out here, how sickening are you guys? Oh, take them back. More futility. I love it. I absolutely love it. What a disgrace. You ready yet? You need another minute. I could keep going.
Nah, I'm going to take the Bengals -1.5 over the Steelers. Right. I'm also going to take the Miami Dolphins over the New York Jets -1. And
the Dolphins are favored on the road?
Yes.
Wow.
And dude, do any of these other games mean anything? Holy cow!
No, it's a terrible week. Absolutely terrible week. As terrible as Joe Slice's decorations. And by the way, a shout out to you, Frank Villestein. You choked big time in your fantasy championship, Mr. Oh yeah, I knocked you out. Blah 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 blah. You lost to a 4-win team. A 4-win team beat you for the title. You stink. Ha ha ha. You suck, bitch.
How does a 4-win team make the playoffs?
Because he had the most. I'm in a league where it's wins, and then the team with the most points gets in. He had the most points he had the most points against. He was very unlucky. And I actually like this rule because he won the league because of it. And he smoked the number 1 seed. Absolutely smoked him after he talked shit all week. I love it. No Empire pot for you, Frank. Put your money back in the pot. So I already know you spent it, you cheap mother. I'll stop right there. It's a family show.
I'm going to take the Lions -2.5 as well. I'm trying to take like the meaningful games. This schedule sucks. Like, I don't want to take a pick just to throw picks away to give you a shot of getting the 30-pack back. So I'm going to take the Detroit Lions as well.
Stop whining, Mayor. Stop whining. You lost. Get over it. Your partner played the wrong player. Get over it.
I know, Uncle John. Guy runs it.
Goose egg. Let's not talk about that.
Guy runs a terrible league.
I run a great league. And I didn't win, damn it.
You sure
Christian
did.
loses again. You stink, Christian. God, you're terrible.
We'll take a look. We'll preview at the college football playoff as well.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about this nonsense.
Oregon, Ohio State,
Trash.
Penn State, Boise.
More trash.
What's your thoughts on the playoff this week?
Garbage. We didn't talk about the nonsense that we tried to witness last week. What an absolute bore fest that was. Not one good game in those playoffs. And there's really not maybe one good game this week. Georgia, Notre Dame. Georgia's going to crush them. Penn State's going to roll over Boise State. You have Oregon, Ohio State. Oregon gets screwed because they're playing actually a decent team. A team they already beaten this year. And we got to watch that again. And then what's the 4th game?
Texas, Arizona State.
Texas, Arizona. Oh, my God. Brutal games. Absolutely. This playoff is a big failure. I meant to look. I went to check to see what the ratings were, but I can't imagine them being good. They were hard watch.
I told you.
Did you enjoy them?
No.
It was trash. It's like this week's NFL schedule. It's absolute trash. Pure garbage. 12 teams are way too many. You didn't get 2 teams that should have been in, Alabama and Miami. That, would have made it a hell of a lot better. Instead we get, garbage teams that shouldn't have been on, like Clemson. Who the hell? Clemson, give me a break. Clemson was trash. Had no business being in there. And they got their asses wiped from end zone to end zone. What a disgrace that was.
So did SMU.
The what?
SMU.
SMU, more garbage. I get it. The ACC champions got to get in. You're putting Clemson in? It was vice versa, one of them. Miami should have been in. Miami was an exciting team all year long. And Cam Ward, by the way, you sit in the second half after you have a big lead. I almost said Cam Newton. That's a terrible job. I would not want this guy on my team. Play the whole game, will you, Cam? Show some class. I would not want to draft him if I'm a GM. He didn't walk off the field like the 49er did a couple of weeks ago. That was at Devontae Campbell. What a disgrace that was. But, he basically at halftime said, I'm not coming back out. How do you do that to your teammates? Terrible. That's like me leaving you, saying, Colton, I'm leaving you. I'm done with you. I would never do that to you, especially when I'm the star of the show. But I would never do that to you because we have a bond.
Bill. And on that note, yes, 12 teams is way too many. I've said this. It should be 6. First 2 teams get a bye. The rest play and go on and so forth. Problem is, it's always going to be 12. They want teams playing their star players. No idea why. We're going to see more shit games. But it's nor here nor there. Hopefully we get some good ones on the new year. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate everyone.
I got a couple things, if you don't mind. NHL, Ovi returns tonight, and that's big news for you because you and your Capitals, I should say Crapitals, are tied neck and neck up there in the top of the standings. I thought you'd be happy about that. Who thought the Devils would be up there this late in the year? That is impressive. You're waving by?
No. That'd be me. I knew they were going to be up there. And by the way, you said the Capitals would suck, by the way, when we did.
I did. I also said the Rangers were going to be good, and they're in last place. Last place Rangers. Who saw that coming? Even my garbage Islanders are ahead of them. That's too bad, Ranger fans. Quick note, your team and my team made a trade. D'Lo, going back to the Nets. You got, what's his name there? DVS. What would you think about your D3 player? Did you like that trade?
Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton.
Yes.
They've been doing everything they could to get rid of D'Angelo Russell the last few years. So I'm hoping for fantasy purposes D'Angelo Russell's now relevant because he was getting very close to droppable on my team. So I'm very glad.
He should be dropped because he stinks. Oh, I forgot to look if I won last week. I should have beaten Rick. And I lost by 1.5 2 weeks ago. That was awful. I do like that for the Nets. What I don't, D'Lo's not going to be there long because the Nets want to tank. This is a loaded college draft. I think the Nets have 3 or 4 first-round picks this year based on all the switches. I don't know how the hell they do this anymore. But it's a loaded draft, and I know the Nets want a top 3 pick. So D'Lo won't be there long. Lizardo to Philly, that solidifies their staff. They're a top 4. They got a big 4 now. So I do like how the Phillies are going more for pitching. The Mets are still a third-place team. I don't care. Whatever. Their pitching stinks. I had to laugh at this. Gleyber Torres, a 1-year, $15 million deal to Detroit. Him and Baez. Oh, God, that's going to be awful. Absolute trash. Burns to Arizona, 6 years, $210 million. I wanted the Yankees again. I thought that would have been smarter. For some reason, they like Max Fried more. They got 2 more years out of it. Whatever. It is what it is. But there's been some baseball news. Oh, I got to put a little bit of all 4 sports in today. I hope that was all right with you.
Of course it is, Phil.
You say that with such vim and vigor. Come on, it's going to be the New Year's. Aren't you excited? What are you doing for the New Year?
Me?
Yes.
Going to my Cappies.
You're going where?
In Cappies.
Oh, well, you have a nice time.
What are you doing, Phil?
I'm going down to Atlantic City.
Oh, that's right. You did say you're going to Atlantic City.
Yes, I'm going where champions go because I am a fantasy champion. I'm going to go take my money and go win more money because people at poker stink on New Year's because they're all drunk. And I'm going to go and take all their money and I'm going to go celebrate because I am a champion. And I'm also a genius. And I can't believe I don't have my helmet here for this show. What a disgrace. I'm so sorry, my fans. The genius will be back next week.
Genius sucks and is still not even close to first place. It's great. But again, I'm Colton. That's Phil. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. We'll see you all in the new year. And thanks again for tuning in to the Personal Foul Podcast.
We'll be back at our normal time next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m.